If you think Mike Tyson's biggest fights happened inside the ring, you have no idea what almost happened outside of it. Subscribe now, because this is the night that could have ended everything. New York, early 90s. The city doesn't sleep, it vibrates. Neon lights flicker across wet asphalt. Sirens somewhere far away. Music leaking from every corner. Bass so heavy, it feels like a second heartbeat. Manhattan is alive, and tonight it belongs to one man. Mike Tyson. He steps out of a black car, slow, controlled, surrounded by bodies, not friends, protection. Massive men in suits scanning everything, faces, hands, movement. Doors slam behind him like gunshots. The air shifts instantly. People notice. They always do. Some freeze, some whisper, some stare too long. That's the mistake. Tyson doesn't look at them, not yet. His eyes move differently, fast, sharp, like he's cataloging threats. Not people, threats. Every face gets a fraction of a second, every movement logged, because for him, it's never just a night out, it's survival. They move toward the entrance of the club, velvet ropes, gold fixtures, a line of people waiting, hoping to get in. But the moment Tyson walks up, the line doesn't move. It splits. No one says anything. They just step back. The door opens instantly. Inside, the heat hits like a wall. Sweat, alcohol, perfume, smoke, bodies packed tight, music pounding so loud it drowns out thought. But when Tyson enters, something else spreads through the room. Tension. Not fear exactly, anticipation. People don't just see him, they feel him, like pressure before a storm. He walks through the crowd slow, shoulders loose, head slightly tilted forward. Not aggressive, not relaxed. Ready. A girl grabs her friend's arm, whispering fast. A group of guys stop mid-conversation. A bartender nearly drops a glass, because everyone knows what he is. Not just a champion. Something more dangerous, unpredictable. He reaches the VIP section, leather couches. Bottles already waiting. His crew surrounds him, creating space without asking. No one gets too close, except the ones who don't understand. Tyson sits. For a moment, everything looks normal. He leans back. Someone hands him a drink. Music keeps pounding. Lights flash. Laughter cuts through the air. To anyone watching from a distance, it's just another night for a rich, famous fighter. But up close, something's off. His jaw tightens randomly. His fingers tap against the glass, not in rhythm with the music. His eyes don't stay still. They keep moving, scanning, always scanning, because inside him there's no off switch, never has been. A man approaches the table, mid-30s, expensive suit, too confident. The kind of confidence that doesn't come from strength, but from thinking proximity equals power. He smiles too wide, leans in too close, says something. We don't hear it over the music, but Tyson does. And something changes. Not big, not dramatic, just a shift. His head tilts slightly, eyes lock. The room keeps moving, but around their table, a small pocket of stillness forms. Invisible, but real. The man keeps talking, laughs, puts a hand on Tyson's shoulder like they're equals. That's the second mistake. Tyson doesn't react immediately. That's what makes it worse, because when he doesn't react, it means he's deciding. One of his guys steps forward, gently removing the man's hand. Calm, controlled. You good, man? Step back. The man hesitates, looks around, sees people watching, and instead of backing off, he smiles again, wider, says something else. This time, a few people nearby hear it, and they stop talking, because whatever he just said, he shouldn't have. Tyson's grip tightens around the glass, not enough to break it, but enough. The music is still loud, the lights still flashing, but at that table, everything just got very quiet. And the worst part? It's only starting. The man should have stepped back. Anyone with instincts would have. Anyone with survival in his blood would have looked at Mike Tyson's face in that moment and understood the truth immediately. The room had changed, and he was standing in the wrong place inside it. But some men get stupid when people are watching. He looked around, saw the eyes on him, saw the women pretending not to stare, the men pretending not to listen, the security pretending not to move, and instead of backing away, he leaned even closer toward Tyson's table like he had just won something. "You hear me?" he said, loud enough now to cut through the music around them. "I'm talking to you." Tyson still didn't answer. That silence did more damage than any insult could. It made the man feel small, invisible, and men like that can't handle feeling small, especially not in public. One of Tyson's security men stepped between them, palm low, voice calm. "That's enough. Walk away." The man laughed, not a real laugh, a strained one, performative, built for the room. He took half a step to the side to keep Tyson in sight, like he refused to let security end the moment for him. That was the third mistake. Tyson finally moved. Not much. He set the glass down. That simple sound, glass touching table, somehow landed heavier than the music. The people closest to the section felt it instantly. A woman sitting 2 booths away stood up and moved without even looking back. A waiter changed direction, mid-step. A man who had been holding court by the bar suddenly became very interested in the ice in his drink. Tyson raised his eyes and looked at the man directly. It was not the stare of a drunk celebrity, not the lazy hostility of somebody looking for a fight. It was something colder, cleaner, the kind of look that made people remember all at once that this man had built an empire out of violence before he was old enough to fully understand what peace even was. "What did you say?" Tyson asked. His voice was low, almost flat. The man swallowed, but pride kept him upright. "I said maybe you ain't so tough when there's no bell to save you." Nobody around them reacted outwardly, but the atmosphere compressed. You could feel it, the kind of pressure that builds before glass blows outward. Tyson leaned forward slowly, elbows on knees.
Пустите меня! Вы не знаете, с кем связались! Успокойся, Майк, не двигайся! Держи его
He
крепче!
didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. That line landed like a blade across the room. The man's smile disappeared for the first time, but now he was trapped by his own performance. Too many people had seen him. Too many ears were open. He couldn't retreat without admitting he had made a terrible mistake. So instead, he doubled down the way cowards do when they need noise to cover fear. "Yeah?" he said. "Then stand up." A few heads turned instantly. One of Tyson's men moved in again. "You need to leave, right now." But now Tyson was already rising, not fast. That would have been easier. Instead, he stood with horrible patience, unfolding from the couch like something waking up. His shoulders rolled once, his neck tilted left, then right. Not dramatic, not theatrical. It almost looked like he was loosening up for work. The man took a half step back before he could stop himself. Tyson saw it. Everyone saw it. That made it worse. The man's face hardened in panic. "Don't do that stepping up thing with me," he snapped, voice cracking at the edges. "I'm not one of those ring guys. I don't care who you are." Tyson's eyes narrowed. There it was again, that shift. Anybody who knew him knew the danger wasn't when he screamed. It wasn't when he shoved tables or threw the first shot. The danger was this stage right here, when something deep in him began to pull tight, when the old wiring lit up, when reason didn't disappear all at once, but started losing ground. A hand touched Tyson's forearm, one of his people, a close one. Quiet voice. "Mike, don't." Tyson didn't look at him. He kept staring at the man in front of him, and you could almost see old ghosts moving behind his face. Brownsville alleys, fists, fear, humiliation. The 1,000 private humiliations that fame never erased, only buried deeper under money and noise. The man must have felt the moment slipping beyond him, because suddenly his mouth kept going faster than his brain. "You know what your problem is?" he said. "Everybody here acts scared of you, so you think that makes you a king." Tyson took one slow step forward. The security around him tightened instantly. People were moving now, Not openly. Nobody wanted to look like they were running. But the circle around the VIP section was widening by the second. Tables emptied subtly. Drinks were abandoned. A club has its own animal instincts, and the whole room had picked up the scent of blood without seeing any yet. The man looked around again, maybe hoping somebody would laugh with him, stand with him, help him. Nobody did. That was the moment he should have shut up. Instead, he pointed at Tyson's chest. "You ain't the same guy when there's consequences." Tyson's head twitched. It was tiny. Most people missed it. The people who knew him didn't. His shoulders hardened. His mouth pressed into a line. The muscles in his jaw started jumping under the skin. "Take your hand down," Tyson said. The man didn't. Security moved faster now. One of Tyson's guards stepped right between them, another taking the side, creating a wall. "Done," he said. "Night's over. Move." The man slapped the guard's arm away. That was enough to bring in the club's own security. Big men in black rushed over from the floor and the entrance. All business now, all smiles gone. The manager appeared out of nowhere, sweating through a shirt that had probably cost more than some people's rent. "Gentlemen, please, not here. Let's settle this outside, please." Tyson didn't even hear him. His breathing had changed. That was what scared his people. Not because it was loud, because it wasn't. It had gone tight and measured, like his body was conserving itself for impact. His hands opened and closed once. A boxer's hands. A killer's memory. The man saw something in Tyson's face then, finally, truly saw it, and tried to pivot into bravado with an exit attached. "I'm not scared of you," he said, already retreating a fraction. "I just don't respect you." Tyson answered immediately. "You keep talking because you're scared." The man's face flushed dark. Scared of what? Tyson took another step, stopped only because 3 hands landed on his chest and shoulder at once. "Of what happens after the first hit," Tyson said. Nobody breathed. The man laughed again, but it came out wrong this time, breathless and thin. "Then hit me." Tyson almost did. Every person closest to them felt it, a near invisible surge through his frame, weight loading, shoulder turning a fraction, not a wild move, a trained one, efficient, terrifying. The kind of movement built from repetition so deep it becomes instinct before thought. His team caught it, arms locked around him instantly, one man at the shoulder, one at the waist, another bracing from the side. Tyson exploded against them in a short, violent burst that shoved an entire table sideways. Bottles toppled. Ice scattered across the floor. A woman screamed near the bar. The music kept playing for another 2 impossible seconds before somebody finally killed it. And silence in a nightclub is a frightening thing. Now every voice, every shoe scrape, every breath was exposed. "Let me go," Tyson said. He didn't shout. That made it worse. The man was backing away now for real, but still talking because he couldn't stop. "See? See? That's what I'm saying. That's all you are." Tyson lunged again. The guards managed to hold him, but they were giving ground. You don't really stop a man like Tyson in that state. You delay the direction of the damage. The club security pushed the other man back toward the floor, telling him to leave, to move, to shut up, to disappear. He resisted just enough to keep the fire alive. "Get off me! I didn't do anything!" "You did enough," one of the guards snapped. Tyson twisted free of one arm and got 2 steps before his own men grabbed him again. Chairs flipped. A glass burst under someone's shoe. Somewhere near the back, people were already pulling on coats, moving for the doors, instinct finally defeating curiosity. The manager's voice cracked as he shouted for the side exit, for more security, for someone to call somebody. Tyson heard none of it. He was staring at the man like nothing else existed. "You think I won't do it?" Tyson said. The man's answer came too fast. "You won't do nothing while all these people are here." That was the line that hit, not the insult, not the challenge, the implication, that Tyson was a performance, that he was only dangerous under lights, under rules, inside someone else's structure, that without the machine around him, he was just a name people used to scare each other. For a second, Tyson's face changed into something older than fame. The room felt it. So did his people. One of them leaned close to his ear and said the only thing in the world that might still reach him. "Mike, they want this. Don't give it to them." Tyson's chest rose and fell once, then again. But the man across the room was still moving his mouth, still shaking off the guards trying to drag him out, still feeding the moment because he didn't understand that some doors only need to open an inch to become impossible to close. "You hear me?" the man shouted. "You're not untouchable." Tyson stopped fighting the hands on him. That should have been a good sign. It wasn't. Because when he went still, really still, the men holding him looked at each other with a different kind of concern. Rage you can manage. Motion you can restrain. But this abrupt coldness, this internal snap toward calculation, this meant he had gone past impulse and into decision. Tyson looked toward the side exit, then back at the man, then toward the side exit again. One of his men understood before anyone else did. "No," he said sharply. "Mike, no." Tyson turned his head slowly. "Get out my way." The voice was calm now, dead calm, and that calm sent a harder chill through the people around him than the outburst had. Because now it no longer felt like a scene. It felt like a plan. The guards dragging the other man backward reached the edge of the dance floor. The man kept yelling, but less now. His confidence was bleeding out under the bright, ugly reality of what he had triggered. He had wanted a spectacle. He was starting to realize he might have asked for something much worse. Tyson shrugged one arm loose, then another. Not with force, with precision. He adjusted his jacket, straightened it once, and started walking. That was the most terrifying moment of the night. No shouting, no swinging, no chaos. Just Mike Tyson walking through a silent club toward a man who suddenly wanted to be anywhere else on earth. Every instinct in the room screamed that if he reached him, something irreversible would happen. 2 security guards moved into Tyson's path. He didn't even look at them. "Move." They didn't, not at first. Then they saw his face clearly and stepped aside without meaning to. The other man hit the edge of the hallway leading to the exit. Club security shoved him through, trying to get him out, trying to break the line of sight, trying to end the moment before it followed them into the street. Tyson kept walking. Behind him, his people were already moving fast, no longer trying to restrain him in public, switching strategy now, trying to get ahead of him, trying to intercept whatever came next. Because outside was different. Outside there were no velvet ropes, no witnesses close enough to intervene fast. No music to drown out impact, no room for a mistake to stay small. And the second those doors opened, the night stopped being about pride. It became about survival. The doors burst open. Cold night air cuts through the heat like a blade. Outside, a different world. No music, no flashing lights, just the low hum of the city and the sharp echo of footsteps on pavement. The man stumbles forward first, pushed out by security. He turns, breathing fast now, eyes darting. Reality has finally caught up with him. This isn't a show anymore. Behind him, the doors open again, and Mike Tyson walks out. Slow, focused, no hesitation. The street freezes. A couple standing near the curb step back instantly. A taxi slows down, then drives off. Even the security guards hesitate, because outside they don't control anything. The man raises his hands slightly, not in surrender, not fully, just enough to show uncertainty. "You don't want this," he says, voice lower now, too late. Tyson keeps walking, every step measured, not emotional anymore. That's what makes it worse. "You said there's no bell," Tyson says quietly. "So now what?" The man looks around. No crowd now, no support, no audience, just distance and consequences. One of Tyson's people rushes out, moving fast, trying to get between them. "Mike, stop! This ends bad, for everyone." Tyson doesn't look at him, doesn't slow down. The man takes a step back, then another. "You make one move," Tyson says, "and it's over." That's not a threat. That's a fact. And the man hears it. For the first time tonight, he really hears it. Something shifts in his face. Fear. Real fear. His hands go up properly now. "I'm done," he says. "It's done." Tyson stops, 3 steps away, close enough, too close. Silence. No one moves, no one breathes, because this is the moment, the one everything was building to. One punch, and everything changes. Career, freedom, life, and Tyson knows it. You can see it. His chest rises once, then slowly falls. Time stretches, not seconds, something longer. Inside Tyson, 2 versions of himself collide, the one the world knows and the one they don't. The streets, the anger, the need to respond to disrespect instantly. That version is screaming, "Finish it." But something else is there too, quieter, but stronger than it used to be. Not fear, not weakness, awareness. One of his guys steps closer, not touching him now, just speaking. "Think." That's it, just one word. Tyson's eyes flicker for a fraction of a second, not at the man, past him, like he's seeing something else entirely. Headlines, cameras, handcuffs, everything that follows one bad decision. The man in front of him is still frozen, hands up, breathing uneven, waiting. Everyone is waiting, because nobody knows which Tyson shows up next. The silence becomes unbearable, and then Tyson exhales, steps back, just one step. But it changes everything. The pressure breaks instantly. The man almost collapses from it, lowering his hand slowly, not believing what just happened. Tyson looks at him one last time. "No more talking," he says. Flat, final. Then he turns, walks away, just like that. The night doesn't end. But something else does. Behind him, the street comes back to life slowly. People start moving again. Voices return, low at first, then louder. But nobody is the same, because everyone who saw it knows how close that was. Too close. Tyson gets back into the car. Door shuts. Silence inside. No one speaks for a few seconds. Then one of his guys finally exhales. "You almost lost everything tonight." Tyson doesn't answer. He looks out the window. City lights sliding across the glass. Reflection staring back at him. Not a champion, not a legend. Just a man who almost made a decision he couldn't take back. "You felt that, right?" his guy says quietly. "How fast it flipped." Tyson nods once. Barely. "Yeah." Another pause. "You can't keep doing this." No answer. Because deep down, he knows. That wasn't about that man. That wasn't about disrespect. That was something else. Something that doesn't disappear when the fight is over. Something that waits, builds, and comes back stronger. The car disappears into the city, and the truth stays behind. The most dangerous opponent Mike Tyson ever faced was never across the ring. It was inside him.